Sorry, I unmuted and then coughed.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
weird. That was weird.
That's like the equivalent of you pulling down your mask to sneeze.
I know, I know. You forget when you meet sometimes in these calls, so it's kind of weird. I haven't done that in a long time. Um, so
What is going on, everybody? Thank you again for checking in with Our Stories, Your Legacy for another episode of Real Talk. And we're back at it again with another fire round episode. As always, we discussing whatever's hot or whatever's trending this week, or just whatever us guys got together to feel like, you know what, this is something that we just want to talk about and reflect on. So in today's episode, we're relying, so a little intro to today's episode, we're relying on computers and connectivity to the internet constantly. It's increasingly becoming a huge part of our lives. I can just vaguely remember when I first got my first cell phone, and I don't know about you guys, but my first cell phone was that flip phone, to be exact. And it wasn't until like my late teens. Nowadays, it feels like a lot of babies are like literally learning how to control an iPad, like from the moment they come out of the womb. Okay, not literally, but like pretty much as soon as their birth, it's like they know the ins and out of how to go to their favorite YouTube Kids app. And so, every day we're glued to our phone screen for one thing or another, whether it's helping us navigate the city, helping us find some new places to eat. We're always looking to it more and more to bring value to our day-to-day life. So in this episode, we're not going to dispute this fact of life, but instead we're just going to cherish the technological advancement in our lives and talk about our favorite 3 apps on our phone or computer in general that we can't live without. So as always, before we begin, we're going to do a quick check-in around the table and see who is on today's episode. I'm going to start with Tyler. How's it going, man? How's your day today?
Day went well. Lots to talk about, work-wise and all that stuff. So that kept me busy this morning. Just a lot of things going on at work. So kept me busy for the most part. It was a little weird today. I didn't have like baseball practice, all that stuff. So that's the first time in 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I haven't like left to go somewhere in the afternoon. Yeah. So a little weird being here all day. A little different. So yeah, other than that, it was pretty good. No complaints today. Can't complain too much.
Right. Well, I mean, as always, as our listeners know, we tend to record our episodes early in the week. And so happy Monday to you. So it seems like a really productive Monday.
Yeah. So far, like I said, not too crazy, nothing to complain about really. Yeah, it's pretty good Monday, I would say.
Yeah, it was the sun came out, and so it was strangely a calm but hectic day at the same time in terms of like productivity. And I don't know, maybe I thought I just contributed to, I tried a new coffee. If you guys are familiar or heard of Lion's Mane coffee, it's not a brand, but it's like they add lion's mane. And for those who don't know, it is vegan. Lion's mane is a type of mushroom. And so when I first heard that, I was like, lion's mane, they add lion's mane to it. That's weird. But it's a type of mushroom. And no, it's not psychedelic either. So, don't go into that. But it actually is a pretty, it's not like a strong, overpowering caffeine, but it's supposed to be like a nice, natural caffeine that's like somewhere between coffee beans and green tea, that's just like a perfect amount of caffeine that doesn't have you crash. So I'm going to try it again, and maybe I'll report back to you guys next week if it doesn't, make me crash. Thanks, man. It's good to have you on. Next up, we got Zavon. How you doing today, man?
All right. Exhausted, because how it is. Same shit every day.
Love it.
But yeah.
It's always good to have you on, man. Happy Monday to you. Let's see. So let's jump right into it. I'm excited to hear what Tyler and Zavon has to say about today's topic. And so just as you heard from, just a recap from the intro to the episode earlier, there's many things that we could say about our lives as human and the technological advances we're going through. But, we're going to forget all the negativity. We're just going to make it a nice breezy episode and just go right into the apps or the things, the apps that we use in our lives that just make our lives easier or just make our lives have a good time. So I'm going to open up the floor to the first question. What are the 3 best apps on your phone or computer in general that you feel you cannot go a day without using?
For me, there's a couple ways I could go about this. I could be the very mundane and boring person and say that my calendar, my email, and my messages apps are the ones that I use the most on my phone in a day, which ironically, they are up there as far as usage on my phone. But I feel to your other point of your question, I think that has a lot to do with work as well. So when I'm not using those things, apparently, because I had to pull it up, I wasn't sure. I'm not usually on my phone for most of the day. Now that I'm at home, I have other things to kind of preoccupy my time or occupy my time, I should say, rather than like if you're at work, you take a 15-minute break, you check your phone or do something like that. So that's kind of something that plays into it, a little bit of it anyways, because I would definitely find myself scrolling on my phone every now and then when I was at work, if I needed to take a break or whatever, which is ironic because, you step away from one screen to go to a smaller screen or something. But at home, those breaks are usually doing something else, going to get food, going outside, taking the trash out, whatever it is, grabbing something from my car because it's right there, or just stepping outside for fresh air. So a lot of different things. I did laundry today during my break. So one of those things. So I had to pull up my screen time for this portion of it. And if people have iPhones, they can do that. It's under settings, go to screen time. You'll see exactly how much time you spend on your phone every day, or for the week and what you spend it on. So you might be surprised if you do that. So not knowing for sure, I pulled it up and my top ones were, I'll exclude Safari as well, because that's usually work related as well, the internet and stuff. But Twitter, where I get most of my news, Pokemon Go, for when I go out and want to play games or something. And then I have, it's a tie between Discord and Instagram. So Instagram, obviously, it's one of those things. You hop on there for like 3 minutes, check out some people's stories, do a quick couple scrolls, and then I'm off. Discord is basically a messaging platform or discussion. I guess you can call it a discussion board also. Basically, you can talk to people via text or video call, or just like a phone call or voice call rather. Computer app and a phone app, so you can do that. A lot of gamers use it to discuss games, all that stuff, post all of the information they need. I know that Steven and I were on one for wedding party, that kind of stuff. So it's used for a lot of different things, a lot of good ways to communicate and connect with people that you may not always see. We're all in one place. It's a lot easier to manage than sometimes a group message, just because you can search things and all that stuff and do all that. So those are my top 3. So Twitter, Discord, and Pokemon Go.
So yeah, no, that's funny. So I was gonna challenge you a little bit, and be like, well, you said Discord and Instagram is a tie, but just for the sake of our question of the day, I was going to say, well, let me challenge you to choose between Discord and Instagram, but obviously it sounded like you subconsciously chose already Discord.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's kind of there at the same time. I think Instagram is more mindless for me, whereas Discord, I actually like am usually having a conversation with somebody. So
Yeah.
in terms of like, messages essentially, or your text app or whatever.
Social interaction.
Yeah, just social
Yeah.
interaction, really, just
Yeah.
talking to friends and stuff. So between the two, I would definitely say that I'm more engaged with Discord than I am
Right.
Instagram. Instagram is kind of a mindless, like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. Kill a quick couple minutes, really.
Right.
Or if you're posting for some other social media content or something, like Our Story's Your Legacy or something.
Right.
Haven't done that in a
Right.
while. So
Right.
call us out all you want in this podcast or in the comments or whatever. We have not posted in a while. So
Well, all right. So you got Tyler's 3 favorite: Twitter, Pokemon Go, and Discord, as his exciting apps that he can't live without. Minus the mundane stuff, which, if we're going to go that route, the calendar, message, and the email apps. But we'll hang on to that. I think that might be a good play of hearing your take on the last question of the day. So, Zavon, how about you, man? What are your 3 best apps on your phone or computer that you feel you can't go a day without using?
Man, you're making me sound super attached to these apps. For me, YouTube's my number one. It's always been my number one since it came out in like 2005. Since I was a kid, I always used YouTube for educational and research purposes, as well as like just stupid, janky meme stuff. But like, at least for these days, as like an adult, I use it mainly for like a lot of podcasts and research, especially like conspiracies and whatnot, whether it's UAP projects and investigations, political investigations. And then I use it for fun stuff, like I said before, like every now and then I'll find a meme just in my feed, or general pop culture stuff. So anytime like an episode of like, let's say, like Star Wars on Disney Plus comes out, or any Marvel cinematic movies or shows like come out, I just watch reviews and episode or movie like critics like describe said films and shows and whatnot. So YouTube definitely my number one. Always going to be my number one. It's always on, whether it's like passive like TV, or I'm actively listening and engaging to it, which leads to my number two. Number two, it just has to be like Safari on my phone, or any sort of web browser, specifically Google Chrome for the computer, because when I'm doing active research on YouTube, I'm also actively researching like on 50 plus tabs through online news articles, various articles, blog posts, archives, just a lot of deep rabbit hole things. So yeah, Safari or just any general web browser. Third, Pokemon Go. Honestly, I like to track my steps, and Pokemon Go has definitely become more frequent for me, especially since whoever the, I truly believe, like when this pandemic first started, I truly believed there was a God, because someone was nice enough. Someone who was level 40 in Pokemon Go was nice enough to put a Pokestop right behind my house. So I was able to just have infinite opportunities to restock my Pokeballs and equipment, gear, whatnot for the game. So if it wasn't for that savior, that guardian angel, I would have not been playing Pokemon Go as often as I am now. So Pokemon Go is definitely a good third for me.
That is awesome. Yeah, is it still there?
Oh yeah, like once it's approved, it's a staple.
Jeez. Well, the Poke Gods definitely looked in your favor. The I was just kind of laughing also about your browser history on your phone. Are you one of those who just keeps stacks of constant stacks of browser?
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. My
Yeah.
freaking Safari has like it's a freaking encyclopedia right now. Yeah. Like I did not close out any tabs. They're all open because I'm that kind of guy with like my attention span and everything. Like I feel like I always tell myself I'm gonna go back and look at these tabs and these articles that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Like I leave them open as like a lazy way to bookmark them. But I know if I bookmark them, it's just gonna be in the background and I'll never open it up. So I keep the tabs open because I know they're open so I can look back at them. But the funny thing is I never look back at them.
Sometimes I feel you on that, man. I have a weird, like, slight OCD that I love. I mean, I'll get to my favorite three. I do love Safari. I love Google as a search engine. But I have this slight OCD that when I'm done with Safari, specifically on my phone, I have to close all the tabs. Now, however, the bonus is that if I have a tab open and I keep it up, it kind of triggers me to do something about it. Meaning, like, if I was research something, finish that research. But overall, if I deemed it like it's done or I'm not going to deal with it anymore, I have to clear my tabs and then before I close Safari. It's such a weird little slight OCD with me. But you're right though. If I like save it, to like another app to bookmark it or something. Look at Tyler. Look at that.
I'm right there with you.
On forever.
I'm right there with you. That's why I said like Safari. I was like, I don't know, mostly use it for work stuff, but I also do my own browsing on there and research and stuff. So you can easily throw that up there as one of them too. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Zavon. Let me jump into my top three, which is it's hard to pick because most of us will probably be able to reasonably pick a top five that we can't go a day without, but try to narrow it down to top three before we jump into our last question of the night. But I almost forgot about this as I was already thinking of my top three, but Zavon, you bringing up YouTube made me kind of like slap myself for forgetting this one app. And so I'm going to bring it up first. So I'm subscribed to YouTube Music, but in general, our music subscription app, whether it's Spotify, Apple, whatever, I cannot imagine my phone without some sort of music thing. Now, if I'm not subscribed to music, that's where YouTube comes in. So, I could see that too, and you could watch other videos. But for me, my subscribed YouTube Music app, I got to have my music, whether I'm working, whether I'm commuting or whatever, or, it's silent and, and I'm done meditating. Here go. Let me put some music in, my favorite tunes. So YouTube Music. And I saw the look on Tyler's face. He probably wants to update his list. Maybe just kidding. I'm just messing with you.
I was gonna say it's funny because like I had to look at my phone because I didn't know what I use that much. But like I said with previously, if I was in the office, I think my answer would be completely different.
Yeah.
Because at home, ironically, I use the same three apps. So I have a TV in my office. I have YouTube on my TV playing most of the day. I have a Google Home that is playing music from Spotify at a very low level so that if that is changing videos or something, the music is happening. But I also have like Twitch, which I would also use usually at work or something on my phone. But I have Twitch up and just running in the background also, two videos playing, YouTube video of something, but also like Spotify on the music player with either a podcast or music. And then I have Twitch, which just has somebody playing a video game or something that I don't have time to play or I don't have or whatever. Like, for instance, the new Resident Evil that just dropped this week, like I am probably not going to buy it. I'm probably not going to play it, but I enjoy Resident Evil games. So I have that up on the other screen too. So those are also three things that I would normally use in the office on my phone, but I have the luxury of my own home now to have all three of those running without actually having my phone near me.
Right. No, yeah. But yeah, so YouTube music, I gotta have music all the time, even at home. Like I'm always listening to something. I love music. Two, with no shadow of a doubt, my Evernote app. I mean, I write everything in there, whatever thoughts of the day, my grocery list, everything. Save pictures of things that will, that I think will inspire me later. And I'm like, so it's cool because, I could take a photo, scan something, whatever, write a little snippet note of like why I thought this was interesting and send it out into the void of Evernote because I probably won't look at it again. But, it's like another RAM of my physical brain. And it's, it's so good to me. And I just kind of created such a good habit of using it that I had to subscribe to the premium. And so, you'll be surprised that I love it so much. And as much as I want to, because I think Zavon, I think you and I talked about this before, where it's like, there's just something about putting pen to paper, right? But I've became so ingrained, created a habit of writing things down, saving things, taking photos and saving it, writing snippets of memories of it into Evernote, that it's sometimes hard for me to pick up a notebook, right? I mean, there's always a time and place to use a notebook, but for most times, everything is right there, literally at my fingertips for Evernote. And so that's one app I can't live without. Okay, let's rephrase that. Currently, and probably foreseeable future, that's an app that I can't go a day without. Now, if the world was to end, apocalypse, whatever, yeah, I could live without it. I could go to a notebook or transcribe with nail and hammer to a rock. Like I could make it happen. But for now, with technological advancement, I can't go with Evernote. This very last one, this is probably top. Let's see. My very last one, I'm gonna go with the mundane answer. These two are probably tied. It's either Google as a browser, or sorry, as a search engine. So, on whatever browser. Because you could do infinite things, search for infinite things on Google. But since you guys already touched on the topic, I'm gonna kind of go differently. I'm gonna steal from your mundane list, Tyler, and I'm gonna say the calendar app. The calendar app for me, as of right now, with so many things in our lives, just saturation of information, right? Nonstop. You look somewhere, here's something new, just saturation. The calendar app does keep my life in order in terms of, just blocking time off. And it's not even like legitimate time. Like I could just say, I'm going to take care of something at 6:00, but it could be literally my next task at 1 p.m. You know what I mean? Like, but it's my literal checklist that I go through, my daily checklist that I go through. And it just keeps my life in order. With so many saturation of information, sometimes it's really difficult to remember a lot of things, and so with our phones easily accessible, that's my to-do list. I put it right in my calendar app for the day. If I can't get to it, instead of forgetting about it, I push it off to the next day or weeks ahead. But I'll never forget about it because when that day comes, I'll see it again, right? So as boring as that sounds, I can't go a day without calendar app because I fully integrate into my life as well as my work life. And so, but the calendar app that's on my phone is strictly like, life stuff. And then, obviously my work calendar has other stuff related to projects. So those are my three apps: music, organization, daily task reminders are my apps. And so, yeah, so those are my three apps. And so that is kind of like a perfect segue to the next question. And I'll start the lead on it because I'll end with you guys, just so you guys can get an idea. So since I'm already blabbing, but so the last question is, okay, so these are the three apps we've chosen that we felt are the top three apps that we can't go a day without using. So what do these apps say about us? So for me, you got music, you got Evernote, which is a lot of organization and just kind of remembering things. And then you got a calendar app, which is like my daily to-do lists and just reminders of things that I just got to take care of in life. And I would say these top three apps are just what they say about me is that I like to be organized and get things done, and I like to be focused, as much as I can. I like to be in my element, meaning that with the music, it helps me keep me focused. I like to do things independently and really just kind of be in my element to kind of get whatever that I need to get done to enhance my life or move on to the next day. So I think overall, and I hope you guys go more in depth in this, but I just kind of want to set the note first. I feel like these three apps are definitely what it says a lot about me is that I try to be very strict or really, controlled in my day-to-day routine. Like I like control in my routine, like, or I like things that are not unexpected. What's the word for that? Like I like the expected. Isn't there a word for that? Yeah, I digress. But y'all know what I mean. If shoot it in the comments or send it to us. There's a term where like I guess that's it in the definition. I like routine, and so so there you go. It's like a wild brain fart right there. But I like routine, and music, organization, and reminders help me stay on track to get my stuff done. So I'm gonna leave it open to you two. And this is also a chance for you to, if you have to, change up your top three so it's not like set in stone. But overall, though, the question remains: your top three apps that you can't go a day without. What does that say about you? What does that say about who you are?
I think for me, trying to remember what I said now for my apps, but I think for me,
you said, well, you want to do your exciting apps or your mundane apps?
Well, I think we know, like, the mundane stuff is literally just stuff that I have to use.
Right. So Twitter, Pokemon Go, and Discord.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, like, the email stuff, I'm always checking that. And then obviously the calendar, that just keeps me in check. Part of the routine, just like you just said. But I don't know. I guess they would say about me. I don't really know what they would say about me. That I like to stay informed, I guess, and have that connection with others that I don't necessarily get to see all the time. Through Discord and all that stuff. Because Discord, I usually do not talk to the people that I talk to in like text on Discord. Typically, I talk to you guys or like Gerald, Jomar, all those guys through text messages. I don't go on Discord to message them something. The people I message on Discord are typically people that I don't see or usually interact with a lot, or they live in another state, or they're a bunch of gamers that I've known for 10 plus years, that kind of stuff. So just having that interaction with them is just nice, and kind of seeing what they're going through, but also just posting random videos or something to them as well. So the interaction part, I I think just keeping in touch, the socials connections is kind of nice without actually going onto like Facebook and, you know, most of the other things to talk to people on. And then Twitter, you know, it for me, mostly Twitter is either you're either going to see a couple things from me on Twitter. I'm either just going to be on Twitter looking for news. So I like to stay informed that way. I never go to the news sources. I always just go to Twitter because usually it breaks on Twitter just as quick as it does, you know, any local or national news outlet, which funny how today's, you know, news works, you know, it just goes everywhere. But Twitter is usually where I go to find that stuff, to stay informed, to stay in the know kind of thing. But it's also the place where I like to rant about certain things. So if you followed me on Twitter, and as these guys know, being a Seattle sports fan is sometimes frustrating. So you might see a lot of tweets during games and all that stuff of me criticizing certain things or just going play by play, did whatever, throwing my opinion out there, whatever it is, ranting.
Sorry, I got to cut you off for a little bit. For anybody who happens to be a Seahawk fan, you may understand this, but one of my favorite eras of Tyler's Twitter rants is the Brian Giacomini era of Seahawk football. I'm just going to leave that there. And so for our listeners who understand what I mean or is a Seahawk fan, that is my favorite era of Tyler's rant. Brian Giacomini? What's his first name?
Breno
Giacomini. Okay, but Giacomini.
Yeah, Giacomini.
Y'all know what I'm talking about if you're a Seahawk fan.
Yeah, so you know, I just like to rant, make stupid comments, meme, that kind of stuff on Twitter when I have the free time. Otherwise, like during the day, obviously, I'm just looking at news and that kind of stuff, or keeping up to date with whatever news I want to follow. Updates from my favorite streamers or sports teams or whatever it is. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess I like to stay connected.
Yeah.
Is what I could sum all of that up to. And Pokemon Go is kind of just a fun thing. You know, Pokestop right outside of, just like Zavon, there's a playground that's across the street that is a Pokestop. So I can hit that. So it's kind of nice. I just, do that, and then I can go out and catch Pokemon and do all that stuff. So it's fun.
Yeah. No, it's I still feel like there's still a community when it comes to like Pokemon Go.
Definitely is. I'm actually part of to the Discord part of it. There's a Pokemon Go Discord, which I'm a part of too. So again,
there you go.
It's all connected or intertwined somehow.
Right. So as a recap, before we get to Zavon, you know, for me, my apps definitely say that I like rigid routine. I like the orderly, not things that are unexpected, you know, to kind of keep me in line with my day-to-day routine. For Tyler, you know, his apps is all about staying connected with friends he doesn't usually interact with, you know, just staying informed and being in the know of all the news and of day-to-day life, sports, media, everything. So now we're going to jump to Zavon. Take it home, brother. So just as a reminder, your 3 apps that you chose, and again, you know, it's not rigid, so feel free to change it if you want during this last question. But your 3 that you said was YouTube, Safari, and also specifically Chrome browser on your computer, and also Pokemon Go. So with your 3 chosen apps that you said you can't go a day without using, what do you think these apps are saying about you as a person?
That I like to waste time. I mean, it's for my own interest, right? Like, Pokemon's like the biggest outlier because that's just for fun, leisurely stuff. But
yeah,
with YouTube and Safari or any browser combined, that the amount of time I put into just doing a lot of research, like we're talking about hours at a time, and just going down this deep rabbit hole, like people are like, dude, why are you wasting your time with that? I'm trying to educate myself personally. I'm just trying to like hear all the crazy stuff that's happening in the world and hearing people's different perspectives on it. But there's also like a fun side to it. Like I mentioned earlier, researching like what's going on with like pop culture, with movies, any cool movies that are coming out, and just analyzing and hearing from the critics and stuff. So for me, it's just I would say in general, at least with YouTube and any web browser, just I'm a research type of person.
Right. Really analytical, huh?
Yeah, just trying to find answers. So.
Well, I mean, that is a skill in itself, though. I mean, I don't think it's a waste of time at all. Forget who ever tells you that. But man, I mean, what's the it seems like after your hours of research, you come to a sense of a theory or maybe a conclusion of the opinion that you form on each certain subject. Would you say that's correct, and that brings you some sort of satisfaction?
The funny thing is I don't do research to form an opinion. That really is not my goal or end goal. Sometimes it naturally comes, sometimes it doesn't. But the truth is I really don't hold strong opinions for a lot of things. It's more so that I just try to find the facts and accept them as they are. And if I really want to have fun with it, I just poke fun of it. I like some of my buddies share memes and I get notified or forwarded and I just, repost those memes and stuff. It's just me finding the facts and then finding satire and humor out of it to keep it lighthearted, because I do think, especially during these darker times in our modern age, we could use a little more humor in life.
Right. No, that's awesome too. I like that. So the research itself is just for you to kind of like you said before, educate yourself personally. The truth is just to know more about it, especially if it's something you don't, not to form an opinion that you can kind of challenge it, but more of just to find enough facts that make you comfortable enough to be like, you know what, that is what it is. I'm satisfied in my research of knowing what it is, and I accept it for what it is. I think that is crazy good. Is that correct?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, man. So you got YouTube, Safari, and I'm sure Pokemon Go has its element all in one, but but I think the main thing is that you like to settle on the truth, and whatever that truth is, whether you agree with it or not, is what these apps tell you to figure out, is to basically continue to educate yourself. You are a lifelong learner of information. Right? Hopefully I'm not wrong off the mark on that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Just trying to find out the facts and accept it as is. I mean, for me, I don't like the idea of being emotionally attached to an opinion, especially.
Yeah.
Or to like a certain side of things, because that just creates emotional reactions. And I think that's one of the biggest problems of what we have today, is that folks are stuck in their echo chambers. And so then they become emotionally attached to it, consciously and or subconsciously. That's why when folks hear a dissenting view, they snap. Like they just have this emotional reaction with no illogical input or reasoning whatsoever. And they just get into this petty argument that absolutely goes nowhere. It's not even productive. I mean, I digress, but like with my research, it's just all about breaking out the echo chamber. It's exhausting to go from echo chamber to hear everything that I can and digest all the information I can. But I'd rather be exhausted being nomadic with information, researching information, than to be enslaved to like one side of things.
Yeah. I like that, man. Thank you for that. Can always count on Zavon to bring kind of and I know you always try to apologize for it, but I'm like, man, you never should. And you probably just apologize out of habit, but I'm like, man, it is awesome to hear your perspective on that, because you're right. I mean, even for me, sometimes I don't realize it, but I try to be unbiased, but sometimes it's hard to bring emotion out of certain conversations or debates, or dialogue or issues at the table. And so and I think Tyler would agree as well. But to always, that's why we always appreciate us getting together and having these conversations, because we all have these different form of opinions. And so it's awesome to hear your take, man. Any final words on that?
No, that's all I had.
Tyler, any final words on yours?
Not too much. I think kind of like what we've alluded to a little bit is, I think, depending on your daily routine, some of these apps might change. Some of the things that you can't live without might change a little bit. Working from home, mine are completely different than what they would be if I was working in the office. So
Sure.
Just interesting to see what other people, if they choose to look at their stats of screen time or whatever app they're using the most, they might be surprised. Who knows?
Yeah. Cool. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate Zavon. As always, we're going to wrap it up today on another episode of our Fire Round, another episode of Real Talk by Our Stories, Your Legacy. And just to, sum it all up one more time, what are the 3 best apps on our phone that we feel we can't go without? For Tyler, he mentioned Twitter, Pokemon Go, Discord. And for me, I mentioned YouTube Music, Evernote, Calendar. For Zavon, YouTube, Safari, and also Pokemon Go, with another vote for that. And then we always, and then we kind of, and then we ended it with, what do these apps say about us? We use them daily. So, what does that say about our lifestyle, our personality, who we are? For me, my apps say that I like routine. I just like to have things in an orderly fashion. I don't like to stray or get blindsided with the unexpected. I like to focus. For Tyler, majority of his apps tell him, at least for this topic, he likes to stay informed and in the know, just always looking to learn something new, or just keeping daily interaction with his loved ones, friends and family, or distant friends and family, just keeping that social connection going. And for Zavon, he likes to waste time, but for his own interest. I mean, it's things that he brings a great point about, is to spend hours to kind of educate himself on whatever issues or topic that are going about. If he doesn't know about it, the truth is to find, to research, not to just form an opinion, not to have an emotion about it, but just to find facts to kind of accept them as they are. It kind of rings true with him being a lifelong learner, just of information and just of facts in general, to be neutral to all sides. And so as always, we challenge our listeners, start this mental exercise yourself. Like Tyler said, if you're an iPhone user, sorry, Android, I'm not familiar with it, but go, I'm sure it's the same thing. Go to your settings, find out what apps you are using a lot more than the others. And write it down, make note of it, and see what are these apps saying about you. Marinate over it, see how it applies to your own life. Maybe these apps are telling us that we need to change our lifestyle, or maybe it's telling us that we should do more with it. Or it's telling us that maybe we shouldn't be so rigid and routine all the time and try to be more flexible. That's a mental note to myself. But most importantly, as we always say when we end these daily episodes, keep the dialogue going. That's how we learn and grow. For example, for us, we're going to keep working on us and improving every week. We're going to keep putting out episodes to keep improving on, keep on growing, keep on putting the dialogue out there. And so, as always, we appreciate the listen. We welcome all feedback and questions, so we're looking forward to them every time. And as always, we'll see y'all next week. So thank you for listening. We are, again, Our Stories, Your Legacy, and we're out.
Later.